Welcome to my anime review, something new I've been doing recently. Basically, every week I'll review an anime that I've liked in detail, and I will give you a link to watch it online. These are my preferences and animes that I've watched, so if there's an anime that you haven't seen, or I haven't seen, and you want me to review it, put in the description below, and I will search it up, and I'll try and watch it, and I'll try and put up a review, but I will not be reviewing One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, or Fairy Tail, because they are just way too far in the story. I might review one season at a time. Maybe we'll have to see depending on when the series ends. But yeah, let's get straight into it. This week's anime is Bakuman. This is honestly my #1 honest favorite anime, and it might even end up with a perfect score, but we'll have to see about that. This anime, it has both an English subbed and a dubbed, but this review is going to be focused on the subbed because I only watched the first season in subbed and dubbed. I watched it first in subbed. I didn't watch the whole thing in dubbed, so we're going to be focusing on the subbed, and let's get straight into it. I want to explain some stuff before we start this review. This anime is a masterpiece to me, and because I think so, this week's review might be biased. Okay, biased. So I own multiple volumes of this anime, and I've always recommended the anime to people. So remember, this week's review is almost fully biased. So these are my opinions, and my opinions only. But I've been told the same things by other people while I got different information from other people, so I tried to not focus too biased. I will try my best to stay away from a lot of the spoilers, but we'll see what happens. As I've stated before, there's only one season. Oh, well, there's 3 seasons, but this is going to be the season 1 review. Got it? Good. Now, following the usual outlines for this review, I will only explain the most important points in the anime series, like the characters, the story, the relationships, the settings, the voice actors, the animations, the music, and the genre. Let's start with the genre. This anime is all about romance in such an indirect way that it's hilarious. There's a bit of school life, but only for like the first season. People have speculated it being mainstream shonen, but I think otherwise. This can be liked by a lot of girls as well. There's a lot of comedy scenes in this anime that are just funny as hell. There's a lot of slice of life and drama in this anime as well. Now the setting, it's just basically Japan. I don't think they specified it at all. Most of the time, the main characters are either in the manga studio they work in or own, and Shueisha, a manga publishing company. Now for the characters. I shall explain the main 4 characters as they appear the most. I know that only 2 of them count as the honest main characters, but the other 2 have big roles as well, so I want to explain them too, even though they might not be seen as big as the other 2. Characters like the rivals or the people who work with them, I will not be explaining them, just so not too much is spoiled for this review. Let's get onto the characters. First is Moritaka Mashiro, nicknamed Psycho. He is a middle school kid who doesn't know what he wants to do with his life anymore. He loves manga and anime, and he can draw amazingly, but doesn't want to become a manga artist because his uncle died as one, because he had no work for so long. So Mashiro always thought he committed suicide. At least that's what he thought at his funeral as he grew up. He ends up finding the passion for drawing with his help from his best friend, or new best friend, Takagi, but I'll explain that in the story section. Mashiro is a romantic guy, but in his own way. He may not be the most handsome or strong, but he has a strong love for the ones he does love, so strong that he tries his best to follow his dreams so that eventually he can marry her as a somebody, not a nobody. Next is Akito Takagi, aka Shujin. He is a smart person in this anime and the same age as Mashiro. He has won multiple book writing contests and is a genius in his own right. He ends up convincing Mashiro to create manga together because manga has always been a passion for him. He's dating Miyoshi, but not until a few episodes after the first. He always thinks logically as he can, and hilariously random at times. He cares a lot for Mashiro as a brother, and they have become best friends really quickly, and they both trust each other largely and think highly of each other. Third is Miho Azuki. She is a girl who goes to Mashiro and Takagi's school. She and Mashiro both like each other, but they don't find out until a bit into the first episode. She has decided that she wants to become a voice actor. She's cute, quiet, and too shy to talk to guys. She's just an elegant girl who doesn't act all high and mighty like some girls do, even though Azuki lives in a very large home. She is a nice, cute girl, and whose love is purer than able to compare. And lastly is Kaya Miyoshi. She's a violent and loud girl who's best friends with Azuki, her total opposite, and is dating Takagi a few episodes into the anime. She has won multiple trophies in boxing and karate tournaments and knows how to fight better than any girl, probably better than any guy too. She's kind of a person who worries a lot about her friends a lot, and always wants to try and fix things even if she thinks she can, although most of the time she ends up meddling. Story explanation time. So basically, for the first whole episode, the whole explanation of the story is explained through the whole thing. So I'm gonna try my best to squeeze it all out and explain it to you. But it's gonna take a while. So if you don't want spoilers for the first episode, click here, over here, because you might not want to see spoilers. But if you're okay with it, and if you don't want to see spoilers, click it. I'll give you a minute. More like a few seconds. Oh, okay, let's get straight on to the explanation. So, Mashiro's drawing Nazuki in class without anyone knowing, but when someone comes up to him to talk, he quickly hides his drawing and book into the desk and leaves with his friends because the school bell rang and school's over for the day. He gets home only to realize that he has left the book at school, worried someone might see it. He goes back to school to retrieve his notebook, only to find Takagi, who Mashiro didn't talk to at the time, holding the notebook, noting that his drawings were really good and that Azuki was really cute. Takagi was willing to give Mashiro's notebook back, but under one condition. Mashiro, thinking it was him having to give up on Azuki, was ready to get the extra pain in he was going to feel, even though he didn't have the guts to confess to her. But what Takagi had in mind wasn't him giving up on Azuki, it was for Mashiro to work with him to create manga with Takagi. Confused, Mashiro takes his notebook, says he'll think about it, and goes home. At home while playing on his PSP, Mashiro gets a call from Takagi. Mashiro is confused considering he never gave Takagi his number, in which Takagi admits he got it from a classmate. Takagi explains that he's going to Azuki's to confess, in which Mashiro is very confused on why he's being told this. Takagi convinces Mashiro to meet him at the local convenience store, and they both walk to Azuki's. As they ring the doorbell and Azuki comes outside to see what the boys want, Mashiro can't stop thinking about how cute Azuki is, and Azuki can't stop thinking about how good looking Mashiro is, while Takagi is just standing there like he knew they both like each other, like freaking obvious, like duh. So Takagi then confesses to Azuki that he and Mashiro are going to become manga artists. Not what you were expecting, huh? Hearing this, and Mashiro panically confirming this, makes Azuki run to them happily, saying that she knows that they can do it. Mashiro then says that if they get an anime, then since she was going to be a voice actor, she could be the female protagonist in their anime, and she agrees to it. Then, while looking into Azuki's eyes, Mashiro has something possess him to say something so random, so inexcusable to them, something that's so weird, something that his uncle wanted to say to the girl he liked all those years ago. This is what he said. So, if that dream comes true, will you marry me? I'm not lying here. If our dreams, if the dreams come true, will you marry me? What? Azuki, embarrassed, runs back inside her house, leaving both Mashiro and Takagi confused on what Mashiro just said. I imagine Takagi to say something kinda like this. Good job, Mashiro! Ya blew it! You had one fucking job! But instead they stand there flabbergasted until the two boys hear Azuki on the door intercom thingy. Mashiro tries to explain and apologize, but before he can, Azuki accepts the proposal, in which both Mashiro and Takagi go insanely confused over this, until Azuki says that they won't see each other until their dreams come true. So now Mashiro runs off, gets some learn to draw manga book thingy as Takagi joins him, and the rest of the season is basically them trying to get a manga published while in middle/high school. Now the animations. The animations were great. They focused a lot in some places for such details, such as the character's hair. You can notice that every character has a different hairstyle, whether or not the hairstyle is intentional or just messy, and it really stood out. It isn't something you see in a lot of anime. Time to talk about the voice actors. The voice actors were superb at making the emotion in the character's face obvious through the characters, and it was all fantastic. That's all I can really say about this. Now for the music. For the first season, the music was pretty good. The opening theme was calming. The second opening was the different version of the first theme song. And the first ending was not my cup of tea. But the second ending theme was the best song I think I've heard from an anime for a long time. I used to listen to this song every single night in grade 10, and it's fantastic. The background music also fits very well with the situations for the comedic purposes or even romantic purposes. It was very good. And now for the rating part of these reviews. As a rating, I will give it 5 different categories split up: voice acting, animation, story, characters, and overall enjoyability. Voice acting, 20 out of 20. The voice acting was very good for this anime. They all sounded good in their own way. Like I said before, that's all I can really say. All I can say is they were really, really good. There's nothing else I can say. Animation started in 2020. The Bakuman did a lot of things right when it came to detailing involving the manga and the characters in this anime, but that was just it. Nothing else was really detailed enough for me to say it was all amazing. In the anime, the characters' hair and the actual manga the characters made were just as detailed as the manga, so that's why it scored really high. Story 1920. The story and the idea of this anime was very amazing, very unique. It made me want to create manga like them. It made it feel more like an action anime, even though there wasn't really any action. Even though character-wise and relationship-wise, the anime was somewhat short, it fixed it up with extra bromance that made everything better. The way the characters in the anime flowed was fantastic, and I highly recommend this anime almost mainly based on the story. Characters 20 out of 20. These characters were freaking great. A pure-hearted mangaka, a genius story writer, a violent lover, and a pure-hearted voice actor. Not to mention the main character's rival, who was freaking hilarious at times. They were hilarious and serious, and they knew exactly what emotion to show when it was truly appropriate, and it was great. Enjoyability 20 out of 20. Now this is obviously extremely biased on my part. I thought it was a very fun anime that kept me pulling me for more and more, and I kept wondering why or when they would succeed in their dreams, and it was a lot of fun, and I watched just so I could hope for their success. Overall score 96 out of 196%, an A grade for this anime, or A+. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the description there should be a link to watch it free online. Thank you guys for watching. Scott Pilgrim FAB out.
迷いながら何かを飲み込んだ不器用だね